"Thank you, sir," Arthur said as he took the cup of tea from the waiter. The oil lamp above him lit his lonely table as he glanced around at the few people talking and eating among themselves. The place was quiet, but lively as waiters hustled back and forth refilling cups of ale behind the bar or handing out hot plates of food to individuals. He straightened his spoon and napkins for the 6th time as he reached over and hefted 2 cubes of sugar before mixing them in his drink softly. A warm fire crackled quietly in the corner. He took a sip before looking over at the man in the corner again. Arthur's hand consciously dipped into his pocket, ensuring the cold metal of his wand was still there. He watched as the man flipped through the newspaper, seeming to take his time to read every word. Arthur sat back and waited, flipping through the contents of his own paper. This blasted bloke needs to hurry up. It'll be dark soon, he bit to himself as his eyes peered over the paper. As if on cue, the man stood up, folded his paper and placed it under his arm. He then put on his overcoat and proceeded to leave the pub. Arthur's eyes skimmed the man from head to toe, doing his best to mask his intentions. The man's shoes were freshly polished, almost as new. His coat was crisp and firm, as well as a shiny black top hat that sat neatly on his head. He had leather gloves on his hands and threw a bright red scarf over his neck as it had been pouring snow earlier that evening. Arthur watched as a man patted his breast pocket before glancing at the handheld watch. He proceeded towards the exit. I know he's going to have the business deal tonight, so he has to have it. But it doesn't look like he's going to head home just yet. And he looks like the type to purchase a girl or two, but I need him to head home, Arthur cursed to himself. He pulled out his wand and held it under the table. The man reached out a hand to grab the handle. Silencio colloportus, Arthur muttered, flinging the spells casually at the door. The door clicked without a sound. The man's hand settled on the knob as he turned the handle. It didn't budge.
Waiter, this door won't open. Is it broken again?
The man asked. The boy moved quickly, still carrying the contents of his tray as he went to help the man. Aguamenti, Arthur whispered, now pointing his wand to the ground near the boy. Droplets of water appeared on the stone floor. The boy's foot slid into the small puddle. The waiter did his best to hold the tray, but could not as the contents ended up on the man's jacket. The tray clattered loudly on the ground. The whole place paused to look at them.
Ah, you soiled my new suit. I assure you this will come out of your wages, boy.
I'm so sorry, sir. Is there anything I can do? The boy pleaded as he quickly removed what seemed to be toast and jam from the man's jacket. Hello, Amora, Arthur whispered again, this time quickly putting his wand away. You've caused enough damage, yelled the man as he barged out of the pub angrily, shooting another glare at the waiter. Arthur waited a few moments before also folding his paper and putting on his coat, hat, gloves and scarf. He drained his cup before throwing a bill on the table and raced out of the door. You owe me, the boy grunted as he continued to clean up the mess. Arthur carefully stepped over the cleaning waiter, nodding to him as he led himself into the harsh snow. He looked around the blanketed white streets before catching the man doing his best to light a pipe. The harsh winds continued to batter down the flame. After a moment, the pipe glowed a low, warm orange. The man looked around cautiously before taking a drag on the pipe. Smoke exited his lips as they mixed in with the heavy but silent downpour of white rain. The man looked for his carriage but saw no one. Arthur smiled. The man took another puff of smoke and sighed before heading down the street. Arthur followed the man at a distance. He turned into a nearby alley and hurried down it to catch the man off guard. He came to a trash bin and shed off his clothes. Blast this wind, Arthur said, clattering his teeth as the wind began to pick up. He put on the ragged clothes he had hidden hours before. He hurried around the corner into the face of the man. Their bodies crashed and the contents of the man fell into the ocean of white snow. The man stumbled backwards, falling into a heap. I'm so sorry, sir. Please let me help you, Arthur said, putting on his best Boston accent. He hurried to help the man to his feet. Why does every being in this city feel it's acceptable to soil my clothes and my dignity? He cried. Arthur quickly thrust his crusty gloves into the snow as he picked up the items while trying to keep his near-frozen fingers still. He handed the man back his wallet and watch before brushing off the man's clothes covered in snow. Arthur slowed his movements as his fingers traced the outline of the amulet. He blinked back tears as the man's voice tore through Arthur's thoughts.
I said thank you, boy. Now if you please hand me that, I'll be on my way.
The man's own London accent buzzed in his ears as he reached a shaky hand to take the object.
It's not yours to begin with,
Arthur said as he pocketed the amulet.
Are you daft, boy? Hand it over. I don't have the time or patience, shrieked the man.
So I can help you, he said, finally dropping his terrible attempt at the homemade accent.
Boy, I will call the authorities if you continue to badger me. It's cold this evening, I just want to go inside and rest, he growled.
But what about the meeting? Asked Arthur.
Pardon?
The meeting you're about to go to. About the last shipment of tea. I do also, for your daughter's sake, hope the meeting goes well, but I doubt it will. I believe you're walking into a trap, Arthur said, casually dusting himself. The man's eyes grew to the size of saucers.
How could you possibly know this?
Whispered the man, harshly pulling Arthur aside out of the streetlights. Is it not obvious? I watched you at the pub. You're fairly well dressed, almost as if you hoped to enjoy yourself, but your clothes got spoiled. A pity, really. You looked as though you were going somewhere important and you were not coming back soon, especially on a pitful evening like this one. All you want to do is ease your nerves, hence the 2 bags of tobacco and the heavy wallet, but no man goes home carrying that much. And your shoes have tiny specks of sand attached to them. Only wealthy spice dealers go to the docks regularly, Arthur stated.
And so what? It proves nothing.
How do you know about my daughter? What about her? Asked the man, shocked. Ah, your pocket watch. The hinge opens too easily and the brass is too well polished. Almost over-polished, hence why you care for the watch so much. It seems it was given to you, but it's a bit small for your hands, meaning it may be a female's watch. Your daughter? You're scared for her, that's why you're so nervous for this meeting. You tend to rub it when you're nervous. There's also the initials on the back. SW. Scarlett Wilson. And how do I know her name? There's a picture of you both on the inside of your wallet. It's embroidered in gold and red with the name Wilson. A gift from her, I presume. She's also wearing the red scarf that you're currently wearing. On the back of the picture is signed Rosie. But that is not her name due to the initials on the back of the watch. Arthur paused for the dramatic effect, as if he was in some sort of school play. It means her name is Scarlett Wilson and she is terribly ill. Also, who takes back a gift? Now, if we can go inside and discuss this meeting and why it's not going to go well, Arthur said, waving the amulet in front of the man's face.
Bloody hell! Who are you, boy?
The man asked, still wide-eyed. Arthur cracked a grin as he pulled up his coat collar. Arthur Holmes, he said. The merchant's eyes grew even larger as he glanced around before turning back to the boy.
It can't be. We'll hurry inside before the whole town knows,
the man said as he opened the door, leading them both inside.